So I'm currently making a pretty scary encounter for a dungeon that I have coming up. Come check it out. By the way, if you're in my Storm King's Thunder campaign, now's your time to swipe away. So the goal for this encounter is to get from this door to this door. Problem is, this door has 3 locks on it. So why do I have conductors in a dungeon? So when the adventuring party enters the dungeon here, they're gonna get locked in. Then I'm gonna start counting rounds. At the top of every round, I'm gonna roll 6 d20s, which you can see I've simulated here. We have 12, 2, 14, 6, 12, and 16. If we go over to this monitor, you can see I have an image of the dungeon with each conductor having a corresponding number. What's happening at the top of the round is a bolt of lightning is going to shoot between each of the conductors that I roll. So for instance, for this round, it's going to shoot between 12 and 2, then from 2 up to 14, then from 14 to 6, 6 back to 12, and 12 to 16. Additionally, the 2 by the doors are going to go off every single time. That way, if someone tries to hide there, they're still going to get struck. So whoever gets struck by this lightning is going to take either 1d10 or 2d10 lightning damage. I haven't decided. It kind of depends on how much damage they've taken up to this point. But the real question is, how are they going to get out of this? Well, the answer is actually in the conductors. So an astute adventurer would notice that as these things are going off, underneath, they're actually opening up, and inside is a key. Every conductor has a key, and every key will work for all 3 of the holes in this door. So they only need to collect 3 of these keys. So now you might be thinking, well, that's not very scary. I mean, maybe you take 1 round of damage, but everyone's near the post, they grab the keys, they run over the door, they get out. Well, I got something else planned that's going to make it a little scarier. So if we go up a monitor, you can see what's going on in my 3D printer, and I'm currently printing a few new monsters. We're going to have some fun with these guys. So I'm 3D printing some spiked Tomb Guardians, but why? Well, if we look down here, damage immunities, first one is lightning, massive, because that means they're not going to be taking any damage from any of the lightning bolts that are flying around. But there's another benefit. If we go down here into this trait, to lightning absorption, whenever the Tomb Guardian is subject to lightning damage, it takes no damage and instead regains a number of hit points equal to the lightning damage dealt. That means they're going to be gaining health every time they get struck rather than taking damage. So even as the party tries to fight back, they're going to be fighting a losing battle because these guys are be gaining a lot of health. So now, on top of trying to find the 3 keys to get out of this dungeon, once they find out that's even what they're supposed to do, they're also trying to dodge these lightning bolts that are randomly flying around, and also running from these Tomb Guardians that are not only not taking damage, but they're gaining health every time they get struck by that lightning. And the only way to stop all this madness is to escape. If you like this encounter and you like this kind of content, check me out over on YouTube at More D&D, where I'm going to be posting stuff like this all the time. I currently have a couple videos up showing my game room, which I call my dungeon, and my D&D table, which I built, as well as some big basic terrain maps, which I designed myself. And much of that stuff is actually available, including the plans for my table on my Patreon, which is also More D&D. So I really appreciate you sticking around, and I'll see you in the next one.